So last year, I did a Golden Sun, The Lost Age randomized event with my friend and frequent collaborator, ProPokeNoob. His Twitch link and charity link, which is very important to this conversation, is in the description of this video. And I told him if he hit a certain threshold of his charity stream, I would do a baking video. And this wasn't going to be just any baking video. He got to pick out this beautiful apron for me. So to everyone who's donated to his charity, past, present, or potentially future, thank you for all the work that you do to help raise money for sick kids with ExtraLife. Let's bake something. So today my lovely wife, who is a very talented baker, has prepared for me a recipe. We're making cinnamon rolls. Apparently at one point she thought it was R-O-L-E-S. She's very cute and I love her. So we're making cinnamon rolls. I have watched her make these several times. I have never made cinnamon rolls on my own. I have a list of ingredients here, and a pen, and a fork. I'm assuming the pen is not actually... The pen does not belong here. That's fine. You're going in here till later. I have everything here in front of me. She gave me measurements. She gave me steps, but she didn't say what goes where or when. All right, so let's see here. We have a cup and a half of milk, a half and 2 tablespoons of butter. That says 1/2 plus 2 tablespoons. Yeah. Okay. Oh, a half stick plus 2 tablespoons. Yeah, okay. Yeah. A packet of yeast, granulated sugar, brown sugar, and an egg, cinnamon, salt, vanilla extract, and flour. Yes, everything is provided here.
So, we have to activate yeast. You take your lovely oat milk that you literally just made because you don't want to buy oat milk. You want it lukewarm. You want to stick your finger in there and you want it to not really feel like anything. Otherwise, it will kill the yeast.
So it says, first step, combine warm milk, butter, and sugar and pour in yeast. Stir to let activate. I can do it in this. I'm very lactose intolerant, so this dish is entirely dairy-free. So let's see, combine warm milk, butter, and sugar. For this recipe, overall, it needs a cup and a half of milk. I'm gonna say it's probably a half cup of milk. Hi! Oh, you just want your ball. I'm gonna say the 2 tablespoons of butter are gonna go in that. I guess maybe I'll put this in the microwave for a second or two. I'm trying to read her face behind the camera. I'm terrified. And sugar, the sugar is a half cup and a teaspoon. So I'm assuming it's the small amount of sugar. She eyeballs everything, so I'm gonna just eyeball as well. The butter? It doesn't say it has to be melted, so... Oh God. Baking is hard. That can't be right.
Take the wrapper off because we don't want that in our cinnamon rolls. And I'm gonna put it in there. Then I want to mix that together to let it melt. Slash, if I let it, it'll melt at the same time, but I'm impatient. So I may put this back in for maybe another 20 seconds because I'm impatient. It won't get too hot. And then butter's mostly melted. It will finish melting while everything else is getting together. So then what I'm going to do is add some sugar. Your yeast needs something to feed off of because it's a live thing. So if you add some sugar to it, it will eat off it and create little fart bubbles.
I've been with my wife for 8 years. We've been married for 4. I really should pay more attention when she bakes. All right, that seems legit. Yep, there's still a whole chunk of butter in there. The chunkier, the better. And yeast in it. We've got like dozens of packets of yeast. This will be fine. All right, so now this has to set to activate. All right, next, this.
And then while it's waiting, we're gonna put the rest of our dry ingredients together. So for this, I usually like to use 3 to 3.5 cups of flour, depending on how frothy my yeast gets or how much milk is milking that day. So then add a pinch of salt You want to make sure you mix in your salt and flour together, because salt also, if yeast directly touches salt, it will kill your yeast as well. For a sweeter dough, for cinnamon roll dough, I'm gonna add about another half cup of white sugar, and then half a cup, my thing is falling, of brown sugar, which my husband just learned today. Brown sugar is made from just white sugar and molasses. Sugars usually go with your wet ingredients, but since our only wet ingredient we're putting in here is 1 egg and then our yeast mixture, I just usually throw my sugars in here already. It may do something scientifically different with the dough, I don't know. This is how I do it when I don't want to follow an actual recipe.
So 3.5 cups of flour. Ignore what's going on behind me, I am. Make up for any that I didn't fill fully. So, half a cup next. I keep glancing over thinking I'm gonna get something, but I don't. You're so hard to read. This is a cup, isn't it? No, this is that's a third. 1 and some change. You probably can't hear her. She is just groaning in the background.
Read the whole recipe before you keep doing crap.
Okay, so not all the brown sugar. Salt, which literally just says and pinch, and mix. Now she laughed when I pulled out the whisk, which makes me think I'm supposed to use my hand, but I don't want to get dirty just yet. And add the sole egg. Hey Siri, how long does it take yeast to activate?
No, that's cheating!
And when you put the egg in, it's not really gonna do anything to the dough. It's just gonna be like, congrats, you add an egg in, you have enriched dough, congratulations. Mine got frothier faster because it's considered more of closer to an instant yeast. It's not exactly instant yeast, but that means it will just activate faster. It didn't need to be activated, but for an enriched dough, I like to do it anyway. And then mix this all together till it starts forming a shaggy consistency. Now there's enough dry still in here at the bottom to where I don't think I'm gonna need to add more flour, and I'm not going to need to add any more of the milk. So once it's together, it's a little bit shaggy. The texture is whatever this is. You start kneading it.
Ugh, kind of stinks. All right, so now it's like shaggy dough. I know that word. I watched Food Network a couple of times. Totally smells like a bread dough. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. All right, now I'm gonna just help press it together. Yep, there we go. There we go. It's getting in. Oh yeah, getting right in there. Yep, we're coming together. Okay. Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that. Add more milk if necessary. But here's the fun part. I don't know what that means. There's a lot of just like dry still lying around. So.
And then it should all start coming together here in about, I would say like 2 minutes or so. You're just trying to let the liquid saturate all of the dry you have in here. Also, if you don't want to add milk, you could add another egg. I did not put that in our directions because I just wanted to use one, but you could use 2 eggs. I can already feel the texture of my dough starting to change. It's not a liquid meatball like you will see Colin's being. Anywhere between 6 and 8 minutes of kneading. All right, and I know my dough is pretty much ready to go and rise for a little bit. This dough doesn't need to rise for too long, just until doubled. That usually takes anywhere from a half hour to 45, depending. When I touch the dough, and it springs back a little bit under my fingertips. There's a little indent, but it's not left there. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of flour in here. I don't like using oil to line my bowls to let my dough rise. Again, sensory thing, I just don't wanna touch the oil. So I'm gonna put my dough in there and let it rest by our oven because it needs to rest in a warm space. Loosely covered, but not super tight. And then she's gonna go take a little nap.
I'm gonna implement a rule. If I'm gonna make something that's going to kill somebody, you have to stop me.
I will stop you.
I'm just gonna eyeball it. Oh. Okay, so I think now I'm gonna let it rest. That seems like I'm gonna put it in another bowl.
Sir. No, keep doing what you were doing. I want to see. What were you doing to Mom's bread? He's camera shy. Yeah, I'm just gonna take that back now. Thank you for sticking your tongue in there.
All right, it's been like 45, 50 minutes since I put the dough in the oven to rest.
Gonna look at my dough. It's doubled in size roughly and inflated, so we're just gonna flour our work surface. I kind of want to take up the whole size of this cutting board pretty much, because you want the dough as you roll it to be even on all sides.
Oh. Okay. This is gonna help. That's the big issue, is it's very wet. It's fine, it's mental. It's just mental, just dough. People roll it out all the time. There we go, look, it's starting to come together. Pretty rectangular. I really don't know what to do. It says it needs to be a rectangle. I'm gonna fold it in on itself. Oh no, oh no, oh God.
All right, that's good enough for me. Then any extra dough is either snacks or you can just leave it. Don't eat raw flour, kids. Okay, now it's roughly the rectangle shape I want it to be.
How are you supposed to shape this into anything? I'm using a lifeline. All right, I think I can get it from here.
Cinnamon roll filling is literally just butter. That's it, it's butter and sugar. So I'm gonna add my butter. I'm gonna add ½ cup of brown sugar, a hefty amount of cinnamon, about a tablespoon, and then I'll taste it and see if that's enough for my liking. And then a little bit of salt to balance out the sweet, because these are very sweet cinnamon rolls since the dough, ooh, oven's preheated, yay. So I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla as well.
Combine vanilla, butter, salt, brown sugar, and cinnamon. 2 tablespoons of butter. No, ½ a stick of butter, because I already used the tablespoons.
Read it.
Butter, 1/2. Brown sugar, just, no, it's gotta spread, so it's not melted. Not the regular sugar, but then I need cinnamon, which we don't actually have cinnamon. Oh, we do have cinnamon. It's in a KFC container.
Yep.
Because
My mother.
Because your mother. I do love the smell of cinnamon. I actually had Christmas ornaments growing up that were made of like hard cinnamon. Don't remember why we did it, but it was cool.
And now we're gonna mix this with a spatula till it's smooth. Butter should be room temp, so that way it actually spreads and you're not spreading cold butter on anything. I didn't do that.
All right, spread mix on dough.
You want to take your filling, use all of your filling because you want it to be thick. And you don't want to go all the way to the edge of this because that's how you're gonna have leaky frosting and it will be gross.
She has given up on having facial expressions. Ignore the chunks of actual butter in it. That's definitely going to be good for it. If I know anything about anything, probably the right way to do it. And then we're gonna cut the rolls into pieces.
Go in lengthwise and then go in and roll. You want your roll really tight. So, you have that nice swirl in the middle, which you'll see when it gets cut. If you got some leakage, that's okay.
That looks right.
So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut those and put them in my dish. I saved my butter discard. I'm gonna rub it against here so that way my pan is greased and my cinnamon rolls don't stick. Sometimes the filling will spill out, you know, a little bit. It's okay.
All right, oh, I need a tray for them, don't I? I'm gonna use this as my cinnamon roll baking dish. you know what? I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna leave it at that. I have extra dough if it turns out they're actually good. All right, so we're technically doing these both at the same time. So the first one, I'm gonna put mine in on the top rack. And then we're going to put my wife's in on the top rack as well. All right. Computer, set a 15-minute timer.
15 minutes, starting now.
So it's been like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
They were in the oven for 30 minutes. I guess let's just, I'm gonna move this in a little bit if I can. Let's just get the reveal.
Yeah. So there were issues.
There were issues all around.
On both ends. Main thing was, I've never baked with this butter, and this butter must have a higher like oil content for a vegan butter. So, more spread. There was more spread.
Would you like to try the professional one?
If you would call what I did professional. Yeah, definitely caramelized.
Mm-hmm.
And no, that tastes fine.
No, it actually tastes real good. It's actually very... It's a very nice cinnamon roll. I mean, even... Actually, I think it kind of benefits from the lack of frosting. It's rich.
The oil did fry it though, so the dough quality changed a little bit, but...
It's kind of nice.
Okay, yours are baked. They're baked.
Yeah, they're not raw.
It tastes like cookie dough. It has the texture of a sugar cookie.
That's not a cinnamon roll at all.
How did bread do that?
Yeah, how did bread dough turn into... I made a yeasted cinnamon cookie.
Yeah, as a cookie.
It was a very... It's... You know, I'm like... I'm not upset. It's not bad.
No, I mean, it's edible. You made something edible.
I didn't die yet. So, I did it!
You did it. You
I did it!
Oh yeah.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. There's a link to the charity that ProPokeNoob is currently raising money for, ExtraLife, his profile. Linked in the description. My Twitch channel, Noob's Twitch channel are linked in the description as well. And yeah, this was fun. Maybe I'll make a bet with him next time.